Satnam.
Satnam.
Dear Mukta, I'm very happy to have this conversation with you. Would you introduce yourself for the people that have not known you before?
Yes. First of all, thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure.
So my name is Mukta Kaur Khalsa, and I have a PhD in counseling and psychology. I am a specialty in addictions, alcohol and drug counseling, as well as mental health, professional mental health counselor.
Okay. And and you also have the SuperHealth program, right? This is what you...
Yes, I'm Director of SuperHealth, which is a nonprofit organization that helps people regain their balance, holistic, physically, mentally, and spiritually in balance.
Yeah, and I think this is really needed at the moment when we see the world moving strange and different than before, and so much things are going on. So.
It's true. It's a whole other reality of what's happening with things are moving very quickly, very accelerated, also because of the computer age and the overload of information.
Right.
And, you know, the body systems are very sensitive and they could get overloaded. You know, we could absorb a lot, but after a while, you just hit a gap, you hit a wall, and that's where the nervous system becomes frayed, and you can't even function.
Right.
The most highly intelligent, capable people end up jumping out the window,
Right.
or just have a nervous breakdown, or get ill. Well, neither of those options are good.
No.
So that's what we work with people and teach people how to keep life in balance and equilibrium, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Just be careful for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming to talk to you. Yeah. So, but you know, before all of that came to you, how did you come, or how did Kundalini Yoga come on your path?
I was very young in Los Angeles, and somebody invited me to a yoga class, which I had never practiced yoga, but I was just open to it. And actually, the first class that I walked into, Yogi Bhajan was teaching.
Okay.
So, but I didn't know who he was, and you know, they said, well, you know, it's this big yogi that's coming, and so I went to the class, and he was talking and doing the yoga, and I thought, oh, this is good, this is nice. And, you know, I went back, I, you know, wasn't ready to make any kind of commitment or anything like that, but after a while, I realized, you know, he, I think, knows more than I do. Is that possible? And even about me. He knows more than I do about me. And so I realized, oh, maybe he's my spiritual teacher, you know, that it was okay to have a spiritual teacher, you know. If you want to learn anything, you have a teacher.
Right.
So if you want to learn of the spirit, you have a spiritual teacher. So it was very un-Western, especially at the time, but it just made sense to me.
Okay.
And that was the only thing that was important, not what everybody else thought.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's, so you kind of knew it from the inside, this is something that I need to do.
Yeah, but again, I was not in any rush, you know, so I took it slowly. And it was interesting because this was at a time where a lot of young people, they were seeking to further their spirituality. They just didn't know how to go about to do it. And so when he came on the scene, they were attracted to that because of the spiritual nature. And so they started to practice the yoga. And one thing I remember from day one, he said, drugs are a drag. He never supported the use of, at least illegal drugs, not prescription, wasn't talking about that. but illegal drugs. Never supported that. And so slowly, people started to leave their drugs and started to adapt the yoga, the meditation, and they felt an alternative way of feeling good and elevated without hurting yourself with the drugs.
Yes.
So that was really how it all started, was, you know, attracting people who were looking for that spirit. They had a spiritual quest. And they found it, you know, by practicing the yoga of awareness, raise your level of consciousness.
Yeah, because it's like we say, this Kundalini Yoga is a natural way to get high, right? This is what we sometimes say to students. You don't need anything. Everything is within you. If you can control your breath and you learn about your system and how it works, you can go to that state.
Exactly, yeah. And so that's what it is. It's the yoga of awareness. So, of course, there are many body systems that it works with: the nervous system, the glandular system, circulatory, elimination, which is all real critical for people that may be coming off drugs or alcohol or just eating poorly, junk food. You know, that handicaps the nervous system, which places a person in a vulnerable situation.
Right.
You need a strong nervous system just to get through the challenges of everyday life.
And how do you get a stronger nervous system? Because when people hear this, they might not even, not be aware of, okay, I know I have a nerve, something can go on my nerves, but how do I, as a normal person, how do I regulate my nervous system?
Well, it's true, because they don't think about that. They don't think about, what condition is my nervous system until there's some kind of problem or some kind of ailment or some kind of breakdown.
Right.
And then they go to the doctor, and the doctor will say, well, your adrenals are shot, or, this or that. And so most of the time that's what people do. They don't take care of it until there's a problem.
Yes, and then they treat the thing that's bothering at the moment. But I feel also people are looking for something that's wider than that, not just the illness itself, but...
Yeah, it's all about getting to the root cause. Drugs is not the problem. Alcohol is not the problem. Food is not the problem. Relationships, all these things is not the problem. You have to get to the root.
Right.
Why does a person use drugs? Why does a person drink to the state of numbness? Why? What are they trying to run away from? Or, and what is that root? And many times it's something like fear, or it's something like insecurity, or anger, or jealousy, resentment,
and
shame, or guilt, or blame. And they're all related. They're all sisters.
Right.
So they're all related. But while you still have that, that is, you could sum it up in 2 words: emotional pain.
Emotional pain.
Whether it's fear, anger, resentment, jealousy, emotional pain. And, visualize a person is walking around with a big hole in their heart. Just a big hole here.
Yes.
And all they try to do is just fill that.
I know.
And in unhealthy ways.
Yes.
Or one day they just say, I'm in so much emotional pain, let me just go numb. I don't want to feel this.
Right.
And they shouldn't have to. They shouldn't have to feel it. And so they're just surviving.
How to impact my nervous system, how to do that. That there were tools for that. I really learned that through the yoga, but how do you do that?
Yeah.
Right?
Most people have absolutely no idea what's happening with their body until there's a problem.
Right.
And then they will go to the doctor. And then the doctor will say, oh, well, your adrenals are overworking, they're taxed out, they're not functioning properly. and there's a problem.
Right.
But up
then we
until
fix the
that
problem,
point,
right?
up until that point, you have no idea
Yes.
what's happening with your body systems until there's an ailment.
Right.
Many times, then it's too late to do prevention, and they have their own ways on dealing with it. But so it's best to take care of it before there's a problem.
Yes.
Just general good health.
And can you give like a few tips how to strengthen your nervous system? What is one of the things that you say, okay, if you do this, it really, really works well?
The best thing you could do is breath of fire.
Breath of fire.
Breath of fire, pulling the stomach in on the exhale, breathing from the abdomen rather than from the chest. Because you're taking in this much additional oxygen, which goes eventually to your head, to your brain, so you think clearer, more consciously. That's where the yoga of awareness comes in. So even starting with 1 minute of a powerful breath of fire. And if breathing from the abdomen is awkward, if you're a new person to this, you could just open your mouth and stick out your tongue like a dog. And that will encourage the movement.
Like this, right?
Yes, and that encourages the movement of the abdomen.
Right, you can feel it.
Exactly, so you're taking in additional oxygen. So work up to 3 minutes, eventually 5 minutes, 11 minutes. All this is going to rebuild that handicapped nervous system. Fortunately, it's not a serious problem.
Okay.
And it's interesting because the body is naturally very resilient. The body wants to bounce back to good health. It naturally does.
Wait 1 second.
So as soon as you start taking care of it, you'll see a quick response.
Right, yes. I experienced that myself. When you do little things, it's like the body really feels like, yes, she's doing it and I'm helping her. And
exactly, yeah. It's very resilient, the body.
Yeah.
And so, let's take care of it before there's some ailment. And to realize that, people that may be using substances or alcohol or even behavioral addiction, how the mind thinks, the worry, or always negative.
Or now the smartphones.
They call it screen.
We're so addicted to it. How
Screen.
can how would you tell parents or people or just adults as us? We're also like the phone is always with us.
The first thing is to make people aware of it. 70% of making any change is just the awareness of it.
Right.
So for parents, like to pay attention. Your child knows, even if you're holding them, they know if you're checking your messages or looking at a screen. All they know is that little device is more important than I am.
Right.
They're holding me, but they're still paying attention to that device. And they don't care what it is, but that's more important than I am.
Right.
And so parents need to be honest, first of all. Look, you're not available 24/7 for your child. We have work to do, we have obligations and responsibilities. But be honest, let them know, look, I cannot be with you right now. I'm working. Right. This is what you're doing. And set them up with some proper care. And then you do what you have to do. But tell them. Right. But once this is done, I'm going to shut it off and we're going to be together. And we're going to play, we're going to talk, whatever it is. So that, that becomes the quality.
Right.
And they understand that if you're honest with them. But when we try to do both, it doesn't work, and they know it. And it's a real problem.
It's a real problem.
It's a real problem because what happens is, the very severe cases turns into like emotional neglect.
Right.
Like we may be there, but we're not really there.
Yeah, we're not connected.
You're not connecting.
Mm-hmm.
You're not tending to their needs. You're not really you're not listening.
Yeah.
You're not engaging.
Mm-hmm.
You're pretending.
Right.
And they know it.
Yes.
And, you know, and little children, they don't know what to do with that. So sometimes they'll interpret it, maybe it's my fault. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe if I were smarter, they'd stop. Maybe if I worked harder, or if I were prettier or something,
Right.
that they'd stop.
Yeah.
They don't know.
No.
And so sometimes they'll blame themselves, or, you know, they act it out many different ways. Or that's where anger comes from.
Right. Right. It's very important and also challenging, because we have all these interactions, and so to do that, I feel as a parent myself, and have all these things going on, and it's never ending, but to make that quality time is really important.
And it may not be long periods of time. It's not about the quantity of time, but just the quality.
Right.
So that they feel you're with them,
Right.
you're listening, you're supportive.
Yes.
I could go to you, my mom is honest with me. Even if she doesn't have a lot of time, she's honest about it. She's not pretending.
Right. I think this is a very important point that will help people to, you know, heal the relationships. Because then, you know, when we're able to be honest and we're able to express how we feel, we have, like, the expectations are real. And there's less, I should have done this or should have done that. No, you can. You speak your Sat Nam, right? This is why we repeat Sat Nam.
I think so much of it, like early parenting, is about just that emotional connection.
But I think it's not only in parenting, it's in relationships, it's in businesses, it's in every relationship that we have with each other, every connection.
And what's a real problem now, especially for young people, but not only, is loneliness. You know, here we have everything. You know, we live in countries that are wealthy and affluent. Why are people so lonely?
Right.
And it's interesting because loneliness doesn't mean that you're by yourself. But it means you're not connecting with anyone heart to heart, even though you may have a room full of people.
Right.
You're not connecting, and you're isolated.
Yes.
And you're so alone. And sometimes they don't even have the skills to communicate because they've grown up looking down like that.
Yes.
You know, so they don't even have the skills or the confidence to start up a conversation or know how to do that.
Yes.
And so, you know, I've read that, you know, as much as 50% of the population is lonely.
Wow.
And they're isolated. And they don't have the skills, they don't have the wherewithal to communicate, to come outside of themselves, to develop a rapport. And it's a serious problem. And we encourage it, we encourage that. You know, it's like with the family, as they become more and more affluent, then they could afford to give their child separate room. So, okay, so you have a separate room, but what are they're by themselves in the dark night. You know, they're by themselves, and this child has his own room, that child has his own, they're more and more affluent. So it's like backwards.
Right.
What happened to family and the coziness?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Right.
So
that's in front of the TV, maybe watching something, a movie together, right?
Exactly.
That's
it's all about being together.
Yes.
It's all about that coziness, the warmth, the touch.
Yeah.
We teach a class, it's called Touching the Human Spirit. It's not your education, it's not your charisma, it's not your personality. It's your ability to listen, to be there for a person.
Right.
To let them know that you're trustworthy, that you're going to come through, that you're going to be honest, that you're going to just talk straight.
Right.
That you're dependable. Simple, but yet it means so much. Are you going to do what you say you're going to do?
Yeah. It sounds very simple, but to practice it, it's because of all the things that come. It's not that people don't want to be honest. It's just that our minds, sometimes we just go there and then forget about something else, right? How do you have some tools or some practical tips that people can help to go through that? Because I know many, at least for myself, are going through the same, like, I want to be honest and I want to stick to my word, and I want to if I make an appointment with myself, I want to keep it, but then everything else comes and at the end of the day I didn't do it, and then I start beating up on myself or what, this is, how can we break that circle?
Right. We're all so stressed out. Stress is what's killing us, really. Stress and fatigue.
Right.
But again, the big thing is just to be aware of it. Okay, so sometimes you may have an outline of the things you need to do, and then life happens,
right,
and things change.
Yeah.
But make a conscious effort to adjust that, to modify your time, and to, be realistic. And it has nothing to do with guilt or shame or blame or anything. Things change, things
right,
come up.
Right.
But that's also where you need a strong nervous system, that inner grit, determination.
Right.
So like I said, breath of fire, long deep breathing, take 5 seconds, a full 5 seconds to inhale through the nose. Inhale, 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 full 5 seconds. And then hold it 5 seconds, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then very slowly taking a full 5 seconds to let it go. Yeah. Exhale, 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 exhale. You do that for 3 minutes. You'll automatically, you will slow down and get regulated, self-regulation.
Right.
And get back to that equilibrium, that balance. It's not about guilt, it's not about blame, it's not about shame. No. That has absolutely nothing to do with it, but real life happens. And also, Kundalini Yoga gives us flexibility, not so rigid. So that, yes, we know things are going to change. This is an outline. Sometimes it works out perfectly. Sometimes there's a lot of modifications.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go through it with flow and with a smile.
Exactly, and it's just being aware of it.
Right.
Aware, catch yourself.
Yeah.
I'm getting uptight, I'm starting to lose my balance, I'm starting to get upset, right, I'm starting to get angry, yes, I'm starting to raise my voice. Right. Whatever it is.
And also voice that, right? Give a voice to that. What's going on within you. That can really help.
Pay attention. Yeah. Don't fall asleep in the driver's seat of your own life.
Right.
Stay awake, stay aware, pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Life is about being present and being realistic, and having the wherewithal to be able to go through challenges and obstacles and blocks and things that disappoint us. And being able to go through that with grace, with determination.
Yeah.
And it's possible for all of us. We just get lazy, or we don't know anything else, and you know, that's just the way it is. No, that's not good enough. We deserve to give ourselves other options and to work on ourselves. That's why we get up early in the morning.
I think this is a very important point that you make, you know. Sometimes we feel like, okay, this is the way it is and I need to learn to deal with it. But you're saying you don't need to deal with it. You don't need to like say, okay, this is where it is. There's always something higher to reach, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise it feels like, okay, you become the victim of life that happened to you.
You know, it's interesting because as Kundalini yogis, we're never victims. We're victors.
Right. Victory.
We learn victory, yes. We learn how to meet challenges and prevail. And to excel with every challenge. Not to say that, you know, oh, I hope I don't get any more challenges. Well, get realistic. You will, because that's what happens in everyday life. Things happen.
Right.
But how flexible can I be? Yeah. How much inner grit, strength, how much firmness, how much do I know? You know, each person has to know yourself. Who are you?
Right.
You know, who are you? What are your values? What are your virtues? What's important to you?
Yes.
What do you stand by? What do you stand for?
Right. If we know that.
A person has to know that.
Right.
Not what you do. That's your day job, but who you are.
Right. And what are some tools that you can give people? You know, because it's a big question. Who am I, and what is it that I come here to do? You know, it's really big. And can we make it smaller?
You know, I think it's about fulfillment and satisfaction.
I think so too. Yeah.
You know, what is it that fulfills me? What is that satisfies me, that makes me?
Right.
It could be artistry. It could be anything.
Right.
You know, and you know, maybe that's very far from my day job, but what is that thing that really, what's my purpose? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Maybe I love to do art, I love to draw, I love to paint, I love to sculpture, I love to act, I love to do drama, I love to dance, whatever it is.
But there are so many people who don't even know that, you know. They're really like, I don't even know what I want, because we're so learned to live by the whatever our parents wanted or the teachers wanted from us. It's like that connection with that thing that's really making you happy. It's kind of cut off, and it's hard to rebalance that and refine that.
You know, I think also it's the food that you eat, whether it's conducive to, you know, stress us out. You know, if you're going to eat a lot of sugar, a lot of sugary things or heavy things, or things that are acidic, a lot of heavy carbs all the time, or not chewing your food properly, it's a whole science.
Right.
And so that's going to contribute to keeping us in a handicapped position. It's going to weaken us, which makes us more prone to not being able to deal with challenges and stress, disappointments in a healthy way.
Right.
So it's not one thing, it's all of them working together so that you could be the best of who you are.
Right. But I think the breath, becoming aware of your breath, is one of the tools that can quickly help you make that connection, right?
Definitely.
This is what I
Definitely.
Befriend your breath, befriend your soul. That's, if you can, you know, be your own best friend, then you're always together, you know, you're always...
Exactly, and that's why it's important to get up early and remind ourselves, because we forget things from day to day.
Oh, definitely.
So remind yourself what's ultimately important,
Yes.
what your connection is
Yes.
to your Creator, to your God, whatever you call it, that there's something greater than you that you say thank you for.
Right.
That you realize it's all according to His will.
Yes, because when you do that, it's like something from you can just put aside, and there's like space for new ideas.
It's very, you know, it's relieving any kind of tension, because otherwise we think we do everything. You know, but when you think about it, that's really quite arrogant. You know, when you think you do everything. You know, there's one affirmation, I love it. It's try your best and leave the rest to God.
Yeah.
So yeah, give it your best shot.
Yeah.
Don't compromise, try it.
Yeah.
And then get out of the way.
Yes, this is also what I say, you know, you do your thing and you delegate the rest to the universe and let the universe take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, yeah, I think there's a lot of power in our prayer. In our Western society, we're not so used to pray, but like these affirmations and these prayers can really help you to feel guided. And once you feel that guidance, it's like, oh, okay, it's kind of working out for me.
And I think all we have to do is keep, you know, becoming more and more intuitive, that intuitive sensitivity, so we know what His will is.
Right, yes.
You know, and we don't inject our own ego into what I think, rather than, you know, just sensitize yourself enough that you could see what's flowing and what just isn't.
Yeah, and if you say that, you know, what we see it in our results, right? We see when sometimes we have a project and we really want to do it, and you put a lot of effort into it, and then it's not working out, and it's like, wow, why did I put all this effort in? Right? But yeah, I think many people have this, but what would your suggestion be for them if they're putting, like, really doing all their best and still not see, like, results that they expect or hope to come?
Yeah. It's either modify your expectations, or a lot of that is just attachment. You know, it's almost like a business arrangement. If I do this, then the universe is going to do that. Well, not necessarily. Sometimes it happens that way, but oftentimes it doesn't. And so you have to let all of your attachments go and your expectations.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's just a business deal.
Right.
You know, it's like purchasing something. I do this, and you know, I'll give you the money, and you give me the product. But the universe doesn't work that way. But the more intuitive we are, the more we try to align ourselves to God's will.
Yeah. And what is your way to align yourself? How do you do that? Like, if you feel like you're out of alignment, what is the thing that helps you to come back to that?
I think, again, just paying attention, slowing down, and, you know, doing your long, deep breath and remembering what's important, remembering that the breath is your breath of life, and that's the proof that God dwells within you. You know, what more do you need to know?
Yes.
So again, it's just we fall asleep in life, we forget, we get like temporary amnesia. We just forget.
Right.
So just taking a moment, sitting down, use your practice, and remembering to be grateful.
Right.
Remembering to to feel blessed.
Right.
Remembering that the breath is my breath of life and direct proof that God dwells within me.
I love that. I really love that. Because, you know, yeah, as long as the breath is within us, we are here.
Exactly. You know, we think we have problems, but it's like when the breath stops, then okay, then you have a problem. But until then, we only think we have a problem.
Right.
You know, and a lot of it we create ourselves through our ego. You know, we want something so badly and we push and push and push. And, you know, we're strong. We can make things happen. But it doesn't mean it's in the flow of what's supposed to happen. And sometimes it backfires. You know, so to be aware, am I pushing too hard? Is this my ego, or is this something that's really in the flow of what's happening?
Yeah.
So to check yourself.
Is there a question that you ask to check? Am I pushing, or am I part of the flow?
And that's part of knowing yourself.
Yes.
Am I doing that?
Yeah.
Is my ego just want it so badly, I'm just pushing to make it happen? Like I said, you could make things happen. It could also blow up in your face. And learning patience also, you know, yes, maybe it is supposed to happen, but not today.
Right.
Do you have the ability to wait gracefully?
Yes.
Without throwing a tantrum and freaking out and, you know, doing all this? Just, okay, you know what? I really want it to happen, but it's just not happening. I'll just sit down and wait. Maybe it is supposed to happen, but maybe tomorrow.
Yes. But be ready, right?
Yeah,
Whenever the time is right, that you're ready.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what I feel. This is what helped me with the Kundalini Yoga, just to be ready whenever it's ready. I also can really drag things around. I feel like, And now I learned to ask myself the question, is this really worth my energy? Is this where my energy flows? And then when I get a yes, I go, okay, go. And as long as there is not a yes, it means not yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's like reading the universe. Sometimes you have a cosmic red light. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Don't do anything.
Right.
Or you get a cosmic green light where it's like, go.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think to do, whatever you want to do, whatever, go.
Yeah.
And then let's see what happens.
Yeah, without expectation.
See, the expectations, that's the ego.
Right.
But can you do it selflessly and just sit back? Let's see what the will of God is.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like in the talks before, we had like just be the vessel and be ready and allow this energy to flow through you.
Otherwise, you know, we become our own worst enemy. When we push and push and push, and it's almost like we're demanding from the universe. Well, you know, yeah, it could happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to be a good, happy, flowing
Yes,
thing.
or maybe, you know, maybe you only get this, and there's like this
That's
really
right.
big stone down there, and
There's so
you're
much
just
more.
missing out. Yeah.
Sometimes so we limit ourselves.
I think not just sometimes. I think we limit ourselves very often, at least.
Right. Right. And it takes a lot of weight, because otherwise we think we're carrying the whole thing and we're not.
No. Yeah, we can. That already relieves me, you know, just reminding myself of, okay, I can do and be, but I don't need to carry it all.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think this meditation, when you scoop the water and you just, like that, you know, you take your pain, your sorrow, and you just throw it far, far away so peace can come into your heart.
Exactly. Yeah, and to think about all those things that bring you pain, or ego, or whatever it is in each person is different, but to let it go, wash yourself clean of that.
Because we put on these nice dresses, and, you know, we wash ourselves But meditation and yoga really helps us to wash our mind and to wash our body.
Exactly, yeah. We wash our body every day, but the mind.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a whole other thing. That's a psychological addiction to things, or even thoughts or behaviors.
Yeah. How do you mean that? What, like?
You know, sometimes people, when you hear of addictions, you think of substances, you know, drugs or something.
Yeah.
Well, it could be drugs, alcohol, it could be food. It could be you're addicted to relationships or gambling, or even when you think of behavioral, it's like your mind is like on default to always go negative. You know, something happens, you always see the worst in it.
Right.
Or you always worry about something. You can't trust, you always worry. Or you always think self-doubt. I can't do that. I'm not worthy of that. I'm not good enough to do that. I'm not smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
So it's like the track that our thinking goes on.
Highway, right?
Yeah, and it's on a default.
Right.
So sometimes it could be positive, but if it's limiting us, then there's also something to look at.
Yeah.
Using a positive affirmation.
Yes, but that's also a muscle to train. Like we're doing training, just training your muscles of your brain and using these affirmations to make sure that that pathway of positive becomes stronger. It's not happening overnight. It's really
a training of the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because sometimes people are very cynical, you know, and it's hard to combat that. But again, just to be aware of it, and it's like I don't want to have to think that way. I have a choice.
Yes.
And I could train my mind to see the positive or whatever you want to focus on. And train the mind, otherwise the mind has the ability to think of 1,000 thoughts with every blink of the eye.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
It is, yes. I think people will relate to that.
Yeah.
So many people are stressed out. And
so a lot of it is just calm down. It's all going to be fine. It's all okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really moving from doing to being. This is the transition where we are in that right now. And just be, you know, you're perfect, imperfect person who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, and feel satisfied and grateful. Grateful, blessed.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I feel blessed with this conversation. Is there anything you would like to say to the listeners and viewers to end this conversation?
Well, just that, you know, when we talk about training, SuperHealth does offer a lot of training that's available through our website. And, you know, it's not just about addictions, but the psychology of happiness. This is a very popular course, or even about rebirthing, giving yourself a new beginning, a new start. It's almost like writing a new DNA for yourself. And paying attention, and then just simple books, meditations for addictive behavior with food tips, juice blends, that anybody and everybody could have that available to them. And it's just about having a good, healthy, positive aspect of life, being grateful for what you have, not bitter for what you don't. And we're available to work with people, to work with communities, and to give ourselves the best of who we have, who we are.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was beautiful. Sadnam.